these next 8 videos, which is steps 14 through 21, bring out what is really powerful about the Institute of Practical Learning's training method and why we are employed by the biggest multinationals in the world and even some governments in emerging market countries. What we do is we don't just tell you what you should do, we show you how to do it. And we have a coaching method which is based on what's called the Socratic dialogue method. Now, that goes right back to the times of Socrates and Plato and so on, but you don't have to worry about that because we are spot on. Anyway, moving on to what's in this playlist, which covers session 3 and session 4. We get right into Corben's motivation and his self-confidence and prepare him for the different interview types he's going to experience. Now, most young people, they are interviewing maybe to get into a college, or maybe it's for their first job. It can be all sorts of industries that they're approaching, and each of those industries will have their own approach to what they're looking for from the candidates that come forward to them. So it's really important that you prepare in the appropriate way for the kind of interview that you're going for. Don't think they're all the same. They are not. However, there is some common ground for all of them, and as you might expect, that is based around soft skills and the mental tools that you can bring to bear. Now, we cover a lot more in that during this 86-step course, but by the end of it, you really will be amazingly well prepared. So let's get on with this. Step 14 is about motivation and talking to you about the sorts of questions you might be asked in some organizations by the Human Resources Department. They tend to have a set approach, a checklist of questions, and the self-made millennial lady on YouTube is amazing at giving you information and sample answers for that sort of thing. Then in step 15, we talk about panel interviews and tough interviews and resilience and building up your ability to handle tough situations. And you can build that ability up simply by practice. It's a good cop, bad cop type scenario. You don't have to experience it for real in life. You can build up your resilience just by imagination. Then we talk about talking to camera, and we record Corben talking to camera. And during Interview Ninja, you'll see him do that several times, and we critique each one so that he can make baby steps, getting better and better about how he looks to others and how he feels himself as he uses presence and projection. In step 17, we talk about influencing, using presence and projection some more, and some mental tools, and especially mental energy. How can you sustain a conversation? How can you have resilience? Those kinds of things. In step 18, we're talking about unlocking some of Corben's inner strengths. He does have things he's really, really good at, but he doesn't give himself adequate credit. So we help him find those inner strengths by aligning, in this case, it's his love of music and his capabilities. In step 19, we talk about the importance of being authentic when you're communicating with people. People will spot immediately someone who's just jumping through the hoops and saying what people have told them to say. And employers and interviewers, they're looking for what's inside the real person, because what's there now is a good indication of what can be there in the future. And in employment, you need to be ready to change, and they want you to be part of their team. So you have to be a fit into their team. In 20, we talk more about positive thinking and your attitude and how you might have been scripted by your parents, perhaps, your school, your society, to be humble and not to break out of the crowd and to obey and to conform. Now, that won't do you any good if you're trying to join a company, unless it's some clerical department in a government. They don't want people who just conform. The modern world of business needs people who can adapt to change and be creative and add constructive value. We think of it as a philosophy of can-doism. You have to have a belief in yourself that you can do stuff and you can add value. And then finally, step 21, we talk about how can you raise your awareness of what's actually going on around you so that you can then bring to bear these soft skills that you're developing, your skills of presence and projection and persuasion and negotiation. How do you use them? How do you know where and when to use them in the right way? So it's an exciting phase of Corben's growth, and we hope you go along with it yourself, see where it fits into your own growth path, and start applying some of these soft skills capabilities. Apply them now, because it is a learning curve and you are going to have to practice. So party on, as always. And please do click the like button and subscribe, because that's going to make it easier for other people to follow this whole thing and basically cross the chasm themselves and have a better life, as we hope you will.